Hello Virgo, welcome to a timeless reading of yours. This is a Justice for Virgo reading. Bear in mind as I clear the space in regards to what this reading may be for you. Not only bear in mind that you have decided to check into a collective reading held by me 7th, yet you are planning on doing your best and using your discernment to take all the bits and pieces that resonate with you and leave behind with the reading anything that does not. I understand that more or less the word justice may have intrigued you in regards to this title and may leave a form of expectation and what this reading may offer you. However, I would like to remind you as best as I can for the entirety of the reading to understand that this reading is specifically tied to one of two channels that I run, which is 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗔𝗽𝗽, and to know or be in relationship with her or not is as irrelevant as to if you are a Virgo in your sun sign coming across this reading, okay? Just know that in regards to 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗔𝗽𝗽, to explain that energy, it is a color vibration that is more or less merciless and does the job of making sure she delivers her triggers. And in doing that, it may not appease logic, it may not appease emotions. Just be mindful of that in some realm of understanding for the entirety of the reading and beyond, for whatever you take with you. All right, yeah. In regards to who I am 7th, aka Master 7th. I read these energies for you. I am a master healer that provides remote wellness and tarot intuitive insights such as this. For a bit more clarity and more information can be found aplenty in the description box below. All right. Bear in mind, I mentioned two channels of which I run, both of which you can navigate via the description box below, should you desire to do so. All readings in the form of energy are feminine and masculine, which are non-gender specific. However, bear in mind that femininity encapsulates both feminine and masculine energies. Comparatively, masculinity also encapsulates feminine and masculine energies. All right, Justice for Virgo. A lot of Virgos love tarot in ways they probably would never confess. But you ask majority of not Virgos, but if you ask a lot of readers whose sign they probably can mention, or which sign they can probably give mention to that shows them a lot of attention, is probably second to none fucking Virgo. And Virgo, you have a justifiable means as to why you are so protective of that shit. It's just your intuition. It's your natural tick. I think Virgos forget that you're the only femininity depiction in regards to every other astrological sign in the conversation of zodiac signs. Also understand that the conversation of zodiac signs, the more you know about each sign, the more you know about astrology, the more you get a little sniffer of what that means, and you got your astrological chart and past life regressions and readings and shit like that. The conversation of utilizing houses and zodiac signs, sun, moon, rising becomes obsolete. It's mute. It's shh. Now you know too much. Let the stars do their fucking work. If you pay attention to all the houses and all that shit too much in regards to still desiring emotional need of something, you're blocking more so your law of attraction without you realizing it. I'm not disclosing that there's any issue with readers who provide that service. That's a service that they're providing. I'm not in the know-how in this conversation to bring proof to a person making that one-to-one private conversation and saying, you know, I still or don't struggle with emotional whatever point that you're making or whatever assumption that I'm triggering, or the ass they think I make out of myself in saying this. But more or less, you're bringing your own justifiable energies to the narrative of what it means to protect who and what it is you are, and being in search of something. And then feeding that intuition with the delivery of how a reader speaks themselves, their act of service, their trade, their energies, their channeling. And it just like being a punching bag of like, shit, yeah, that's, oh, fuck, yeah, I know it, but it hurts. And, oh, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like, fuck around and find out. And then at the same time, we're like, I can't express myself. No one gets it. And that's still just as energy taking control. You're not meant to necessarily speak on that behalf of which it is you don't know. The moment you feel that, give yourself that same permission to be like, all right, don't have the information. What do I have information on? Let's work with that. And I think that will help you navigate on what is more or less also in honor to what I disclose and have disclosed so far on this channel. And the playlist that I run, the series of Devil series, where I say the devil of tarot is your ego that doesn't know or understand whether it's operating of light and or of darkness, or wants to play a game. You're in the precipice to understand that about your subtle self, what femininity and masculine energy of injury or manifestation power could be. Whether you can break that down in conversation with me and say, this is exactly my femininity and this is exactly my masculinity, is relevant to how I can be able to trigger that possibility of understanding. Okay? Once we have that understanding, it just may have been those words that I used to trigger that understanding. Or maybe these are the confusing words that are not to be understood right now, but maybe make sense in a moment later as you leave the reading, right? That journey is the journey of water, the journey of communication, the journey of the tide coming in and the tide coming out, and figuring that out, and figuring out whether or not, due to that, whether or not someone's going to take a fucking plunge in the fucking ocean or not. Are you taking that risk? So that is the Nine of Cups with the white knight of this white horse being illuminated in symbolism right now. That it's not to say that you do not understand pros and cons. It does not mean that you don't understand the bookends of the atrocities of life and then damaging convictions that you may be also guilty of, and how you may also have a lot of answers to the daunting questions of life at the same time, while providing those answers may absolutely know nothing. You are understanding of the analytical tongue that gets spoken and the wisdom to understand the vernacular sound between every word in between, because you can understand that you can say one word and obliterate a lot of fucking bullshit by maybe asking a question that demands an answer, or giving an answer to someone who didn't anticipate you giving one in the first fucking place. So that is where you're like, interesting. Interesting indeed. Interesting. And however that may be the engines of ingenuity going, oh boy, we like that shit. The mind is thinking. And a thinking mind, ooh, delicious. Alright? You're on a path. You're on that path of not only staying in your lane, but you obliterate any shit that's trying to fucking dim light on your lane, cause potholes in your lane, okay, like give you the speed limit of your lane. Like, hold up. Your intuition, as of many years here, whatever calendar you follow, has been fucking loud as the world externally may have been shrinking. And you are forced to go into the space of where your intuition has given you every variable to show up into life too. And it has massive contradictions, right? This person may be the one that you're feeling you're going to talk to. And then you answer to that feeling of intuition, and then the logical mind and expectation of meeting that intuition of doing is like, well, I didn't fucking like that fucking reply. That's what you got. The logical mind is being tested by the ways of the emotions. But the wisdom of the mind is keeping the emotion of the injuries of the heart space intact. And that's where you are the teetering silver lining of yourself and your own intuition. Virgo, come on. Gotta let loose a little bit, Virgo. Just wait until that villain era that Virgo comes through, because you kind of more or less what came out of it, and it shall return. But this time when it returns, you'll have a better understanding what the fuck that fucking means. It just means unaddressed respect given by others to the demands of energy. Answer whatever the fuck you want. Take at that denomination of viable truth. The wheels of time keeps on spinning, spinning, spinning into the future. You're looking literally for a tune. You're looking for a tune. And you're wondering whether or not while you're in that tune, anticipatory of the tune, figuring out what a tune is. What does it mean for a tune to be a tune? Is it a song? Is it a frequency? Isn't it all just a frequency that depicts itself as a label? You call it a song, you call it harmony, you call it religion, you call it faith, you call it belief, you call it politics. It's all a frequency, baby. And how opportunistic it is really the longitude and latitude of wherever the fuck your lane is. You're wise in knowing, Virgo. Okay, you're very wise in knowing that the minor aspects have now on the board of the storytelling 5 pentacles. 5 pentacles is like shit. If you know things about tarot, it means it's the energy of like change, right? And maybe it's a root of energy of pain to participate change, to be like, hey, hello, bruising here. You know, you're gonna hello. How many times are you gonna take a punch to the mental, Virgo, right? How many times are you going to turn into the punches of the mental without giving yourself illumination of no longer wanting that mental fuckery to happen? As in, you don't have to fuck people over to survive, right? And vice versa. So, the Neptune energy here of the Hanged Man is that pressing element. If you're someone who's recently or have in the past been inundated what Neptune may mean, or the Hanged Man may mean in the Astros, it may have triggered something within you, especially your subconscious, that's for sure. And especially the light within your shadow that's very much attracted of you being now, have made a match made in heaven with the shadows of Neptune and all his illusions and fears. Welcome to the dark side of the moon. Yeah, Ace of Wands. Okay. Welcome to the stranglehold, quite literally, of what it means to get enough punches in the stratosphere of self that it's like, all right, it's earth-shattering enough. I need to do something about it. And the smallest denomination of what you can do about it is show up to recognizing that it's there. Because then it makes it tangibly real. And once you make it tangibly real, the girth of who you are is going to bring that inertia, okay, to make and bring the changes that are required to make you feel like you've come out of things. The 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. 10 of Swords is the rippling of that inertia of shit that you can't control. All right, you know it's there. You maybe can't trace all the reasons as to why you were bruised there, and maybe you don't remember. And trauma does that. Trauma doesn't want to fucking repeat that shit. Alright? Why would the mind repeatedly put you in a position to continue acknowledging it and it inflicting more and more pain within you? It's going to be such a dense feeling that you could, in worst case scenarios, what this does to people, it can make them feel suicidal. And that is not okay in more measures than we can bring words to. Right, so where you're once smart enough to move away from things that no longer served you, and you became that Knight of Cups before, that Knight of Shining Armor, and reapproaching maybe again the same bullshit. Maybe the same bullshit is going to show up again, but this time you're going to be like, fucking bring it. All right? And I say this because whatever wants to come in here with force, you're going to be like, bring it, motherfucker. I'm ready. This is calm. This is calculated. This is, I know what you may not know, and I'm ready for what it is that you may not know, because from what it is that you may not know, and you do, in the idea of you not doing, I may do. It's much calmer energy than this energy. This is the force external power, all right, saying that you won't make it, all the shit that, just ignore, just shit. It's just shit, all right? And it's pressing your shit. All right, but you're the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. You can handle literally all this shit. You can handle all this shit. You can handle, as one card comes out. Yeah, look at that. You can handle all this shit. Wow. Wow, what a fucking meaning. I said emotionally, Knight of Cups going in, Knight of Shining Armor. All right, you're going into another form of maybe a perceivable energy coming in again. You don't know. Fear enough tells you, oh shit, it could potentially come back again. You don't know. It's still a fucking mystery with this card. But whatever it is, you're welcoming any fucking tangible shit, minor aspect. Fucking come here. Come here. Come a little closer. Come in closer. I can esoterically just, pow, you know? And that's all because of self. A better perspective of this. Why you control the narrative of what you have controlled up to this fucking point and will not budge. The only budging is expansion of more of the things that you can control. Literally. An expansion of more of the things that you can control here. All right, y'all. I said it. Neptune. Do you believe me now? Did it require belief? Did it require me using the word belief in order to have resonate with any form of the frequencies that this message could have provided? Exactly. All this, the frequency of known and what is not known can only be received, you, the receiver, and make sense of whatever it is that you want to make sense out of it. You can speed this up, slow this down, if you should desire to. But to change me, that requires me to show up to that change. And that's the same attitude that, more or less, all who come across this reading are embodying. Ooh, the stars. There's nothing singular about this shit, alright? Did it? Did it require belief? Or was it your hope? Love it. I fucking love this. Alright, I'm hearing two more. You know, earlier was it? Yep, I said you were looking forward to, right? And then we have Neptune. Does Neptune sound like something that's in tune? Fortune? Oh, shit. Alright. And then we have Palace, Wisdom. I said, you are the wise one, right? New moon, intention. Start over. Delicious. All right. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.